You need these 8 emotions to survive. And after watching this video, you'll know why you need each one. Hi, my name is Logan, and I help people see and think clearly. So, we'll just get right into it. There are 8 different emotions recognized by Dr. David R. Hawkins, who's a person, I really love his scale of emotions, although there are various other scales of emotions out there. It's just one of them. So, there are 8 different emotions, and they go from the lowest to what we're going to call the highest for right now. These are just the animal emotions. Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. These are all the warfare emotions. Getting right into it, shame is one emotion that classically evolved to help us direct a child's behavior very, very quickly. So that if a child were walking off into a very busy highway, that a parent would be able to say, "Hey, stop right now!" And that would totally freak them out. I kind of almost freaked myself out a little bit saying that. But yeah, it would really, really hit them on a visceral level to make them stop what they're doing instantly and change their course of behavior. So you can see here that shame is something that if we didn't have, there's a lot of people out there who wouldn't be around right now because they would have just kind of gone off on their own thing and been hurt really quickly. And of course, at the same time, there's other aspects of shame where if a parent does this and there isn't an immediate threat in the moment, that this could kind of really get a person's psyche twisted up. And that happens very often. The next emotion, animal emotion that we absolutely need in order to survive is guilt. Guilt is there so that if you don't have this very deep connection to your higher power or your higher purpose, that you're still contributing to society. Guilt is there to motivate you to do your basic duties, to just kind of maintain the status quo and continue doing that. And that's really it. Guilt isn't some super, kind of high moral thing that people would do. And a lot of people will tell you that. And that's where guilt gets kind of twisted up and used as this motivating factor. When, yes, you should use guilt to motivate yourself, but you should kind of put the priority on actually contributing to society and helping people and that sort of thing. So the next emotion up is apathy. Apathy is around to help us not give out all of our time, energy, and resources to things that are absolutely hopeless and won't yield any result at all. So I kind of think there was one really awful science experiment that was done where they had a dog, I believe it was a dog, in a cage, and they would zap the floor of the dog and kind of see if he'd run around or anything. And he would for a while, but after he would give up, basically. And he would just sit there, not doing anything, and get zapped because he couldn't do anything. It was hopeless for him. And so that really is what apathy is. It's this kind of idea of learned helplessness that you can't really do anything, and it's there to help you not use up your energy and resources when you really should use those energy and resources to just survive. Just survive. This gets twisted up in a lot of ways where people don't pursue the things that they could pursue because they don't think they can do it. Kind of these ideas, these limiting beliefs that they have stop them from doing the things that they could do even if they think they can't do it, right? So that's where this idea of apathy comes from. And it helps us survive in very limited circumstances. All right, so moving on. This next idea is that of grief. Grief is there to kind of hold the tribe together, to where if you're with a group of other people and you're all very sad about the same thing, it's kind of like proof that you're all on the same page, that you all have the same values. And having the same values is very rare indeed, but it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. So grief is what holds us together with other people and with things and objects as well. So that is the function of grief. Of course, grief has a certain time period that is healthy, and beyond that, it gets very unhealthy, as with all things. So each one of these emotions, they have their kind of area of where it's healthy, and then this larger area of where it can get very, very messed up. And it's interesting how this works, but they stack on each other. So you can have a stack of emotions, and kind of as you go through them, you find that random other ones pop up. It usually goes down the scale, but it can kind of get really messed up as well. Okay, next emotion on the list is, we just covered apathy, so fear. Fear, obviously, all of these emotions are there to protect your physical form. Fear is there so that you don't get hurt, so you don't jump off of a 10-story building and fall down to your utter demise. Fear is there so that you don't go and play with a snake, so you don't get hurt. So I feel like fear is very obvious. If anyone were to come up with a list of emotions that help you survive, fear obviously ranks very, very highly. Because if you weren't afraid, you'd run towards things, or maybe even you wouldn't avoid things that would seriously harm you and your survival. The next emotion is desire. Desire is this energy of moving toward the things that you want, the things that would help you survive and reproduce. And so these things, food, water, shelter, sex, community, status, etc., they're good. They help you survive. They help you replicate. And that's the whole point of emotions. So, thumbs up. The next emotion is anger. Now, as you're on your path of getting the things that you want, there are inevitably going to be obstacles in your way. And so what anger does, it allows you to kind of push your way through, to kind of force your way through, to go under, over, around, or to just find a different way entirely. Your obstacles. This is there so that you don't keel over at the slightest sign of something not going your way, or just kind of being in the way. Anger is a very useful emotion, and it can also, if your values aren't aligned correctly, be very destructive, as I'm sure you already know. The next emotion isn't very obvious onto why it is necessary for survival, but I've thought about this for a while. It's kind of tricky. Pride is there so that you take agency and control. Ultimately, this is an illusion. But pride is there so that you take control and survive. So it's actually a very strong emotion, but at the same time, it's very small. It's strong only compared to the other lower emotions, but it's small in that it's all about you. And so, yeah, you may help the group to look very good, for yourself to have high status, but in the end, it's very empty. It was all for you when it's coming from pride. And so these are the 8 emotions that we all need in order to survive. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you in the next video. Peace.